what we go with, but I kind of go with excess power. I think that's what he's kind of known as, but I know some people go XSE power or whatever, so I'm a bit, open to ideas.
To
But
interpretation, yeah.
he's the big man, is what I'm trying to say for this Forze side.
He's got the power. That's the Exa doesn't matter. He's got the power. And well, Almazer doesn't quite have long. Gets overwhelmed, but face crack hides in pit. And by the initial look of it, it seems to me like attacks are not going to expect this at all. Oh my god, they're not. 2-tap, dirt nap is what meant to be, but Slacks doesn't die. Oh my god, he takes another shot. He is still standing. Stefan's going to take another player down off of mid, and these T's are going to be primed to pinch into the A site. If Exapower can do something ridiculous from back site, that's about all they're going to have left in the tank. Jerry seems like he wants to go fight mid doors. If he can duel versus Stefan and cut off this side of the map, then maybe even the bomb gets thrown in the open because attacks that they're falling back. Oh, this is also so layered.
Yeah, actually a really good flashbang coming in, and all the timing. I think Exapower, he was kind of expecting, they'd push through, I can jump down, get the drop, but no, they'd turned around, and he is the one that ends up getting dropped on, I guess. But nonetheless, a pretty decent pistol. Coming in from alternate attacks could definitely have, swung in the favor of the CT side with that pit player if he'd have maybe connected a few more shots, maybe waited a bit longer. But all the same, alternate attacks, very fresh. They've played a fair few games today, and I mean, I think they've got the know-how and the ability to take down Forze, definitely, who've been a team, again, on this upward trajectory, really looking good within the CIS region itself. But it's this kind of next hurdle of the MDL that maybe they've been, not struggling, I would say, but maybe not quite continuing that upward trajectory in the way that we would expect.
I mean, put it this way, right? Attacks already have one more loss than Forze in this league, sitting at 8-7. As in 8 losses and 7 losses, and Forze already have doubled the wins of that. So I mean, Forze, they're one spot out of the 8th position of playoffs at the moment. They're a team that are still very much vying for playoff contention, whereas attacks just want to avoid relegation. So can the double scout and pistol buy work out for Forze? They're starting to get these pistol players close, and it's within the map that everything starts to unfold. Exapower hops back down towards the spawn, and well, he leaves it all onto Jerry. The damage is there, though. Oh, is it ever. He's just going to have to tag each of these dudes one time and take them out. But Mantu, he's got cover from the box, and he's also got the shot. Offsets the crosshair of Jerry. The force does not work, and Forze, well, they're back down to pistol.
Yeah, that is definitely a rough one. I mean, there was a flash, I think, that went through the cross smoke, where a good couple players on that T side were blinded up, but the player that pushed through, I want to say Almazer, maybe, he didn't really get the damage that he was looking for, unfortunately, and as we saw from the HP bars right at the end of the round, it definitely could have gone the way of Forze if they'd have connected a couple more shots, but of course that is the way that the cookie crumbles, as they say, so it's probably going to be an easy third there, and certainly looking likely. Close for Cressy there, but he will manage to find the kill nonetheless. We've got a boost up here in mid, though, and he will drop Slacks over on B, getting aggressive as they cleared out B to get that bomb plant down, and another one coming in for XC Power. So, nice damage done. Does not find the crazy one tap onto Stefan. I was just waiting a second because you never know, but it's nice for him, I suppose, and especially being that AWPer, gives him a little bit more comfort. He gets the smoke, he gets the kit alongside the AWP.
Solid start indeed. Who else steps up with Exapower, though? Because at the moment, he's got more kills than the rest of his team combined. And it is early days. With the buy now on the card. Let's see what we're in store for. Seems like this initial clash on long A could also get skewered by the cat. If the catwalk players get past the AWPer, that's what would have been fantastic. But Exapower, he's going to take down 2. They try to charge headstrong into him, and that would have been such a good way to counter the 3 players on long A setup, but they ran into the brick wall of an AWPer. And Flit gets aggressive because he hears the scope of Slacks moving relaxed towards mid. Headshot and the follow-up. 4 is on the board, and they could even save the double up, which they will.
Yeah, really, really good round coming in, like you say. Basically, just off the back of that orb, I think, holding things down. If they gain that short control, they gain a bomb plant. That is the crux of that round, but of course it never happens, and now life looking difficult for alternate attacks. Despite the 3 in the row, you know, they've taken some hits in some of the rounds, which means that their economy not quite able to expand out of control, so they do have an AWP, but they've got a Deagle, they've got a UMP. It's not really ideal up against the double up setup as well, and a lot of information being gained here off the back of the Molotovs, etc. Dude gonna go flying down in towards CT. I mean, he gets there successfully, but he's on 15 HP. Gonna get taken down. In goes Split, 1-2. Not quite the third. However, it's actually alternate attacks to be coming out on top because they've cleared the B side of things. Excess power, he will manage to get a kill on the cross because there's no utility to deal with it, but it's a 2 versus 2, and now a retake scenario for Forze.
Yeah, and Slacks, he just missed his chance to drop Exa power. That's really what you want to do right now. Drop this AWPer. But he's gotten his foot just outside of the windowsill, and he heard the grenade trajectory come off platform. There goes his teammate, though, so Exa Power is going to have to finish it. Not going to happen. Man2 takes the initiative. The same sort of initiative he took to get that B site cleared. Walks out of tunnels, Wandigs the man on site, and then picks up the fallen op to close the round. So attacks 4-1, double op setup at the start of this one, and the purchase back from Forze, of course, all of the money invested. What do they have from it? Not much. Double log and an op, couple of upgraded pistols, and already one hits the dirt. Jerry's going to pick up the gun. I believe that's from the same bullet scriv. Jerry gets tagged to 64 as the first man falls, and the counter pick thanks to the second op. That's not even their op. They used it against them. That's insult to injury, and now we're going to get slow in the 4v3.
Definitely strange to see the double up setup on the T side, but I suppose Dust 2 are good a map as any to be using it, and it's working so far, keeping that man advantage. But Man2, if he can, you know, kind of pop off here, obviously not that primary AWPer, but if he can look good, I think he's one of the stronger names on this alternate attack side for sure. So good for him to be getting off to a relatively good start. This is an interesting response setup from Forze. A lot of pressure in middle and looking to try and find a kill on the contact AWP, but it's just not coming. With the early exchanges being so early, alternate attacks are just able to slow things down, but there goes Almazer getting aggressive. It pays off. He's not able to retrieve a weapon, but at the very least keeps things even now. However, I think that's 2 players in mid spotted out, so they're going to try and respond here on the alternate attack side. In goes the AWP. He's able to tag down one, but not quite find the kill. The nade going to go through, but it's not going to land onto anybody. I think the bomb plant will be coming in relatively soon. Nice boost, though. Good response. I eat my words. Is Split going to drop that bomb? And with only 20 seconds left, this makes life difficult. It's going to go down, but that allows so much pressure, so much positional advantage now for the CTs. Moving in, a clean headshot from Split. Man2 will find 1-2. Oh my goodness, no way! Misses the shot into Almazer, pulls out the Deagle, creeping around, and he finds it. Man2 gets the 1 versus 3 in a matter of seconds. Blinking, you will miss it, but the 4K overall from him. And as if by magic, I was talking about him being one of the better individuals, and he steps it up massively.
Man2 goes through and through. Man steps up real big. Oh, that is so fun to watch. When somebody just dances around a piece of cover, plays with their food, isolates all the kills. And in a round where Forze weren't supposed to pick up much, that was looking great for them. But this one's not over just yet either. These pistols dealing damage on long, and we've got a scout already walking up mid. Imagine if Exa Power can hit them from behind before they realize what's going on. He has the pinch with Face Crack's Deagle too. Uh-oh, but the doorway's being watched. Dude drops him. And we have Face Crack now facing a 1v3. Awful position to be in. When he's only got the Deag to try and work with. Maybe he pops one player. Slacks could get hit. And everybody leaves. The margin of error here, it's huge. They can make many mistakes and still be fine, but Face Crack now sees the AWPer. A little delayed in his reaction will cost him 6th round of the board for attacks and a T side that shows no signs of slowing. If anything, it's just been picking up. These early rushes, the big clashes, even versus the force buys or pistol rounds, attacks look really hungry for the kills and happy to fight. So let's see if Forze will give that fight to them. They take a pause and come in with an op immediately.
It's been a tough start for sure. See if they can pull something back in their favor. But I mean, I don't know. This relentless aggression, alternate attacks, looking very, very good here on this too. It is a fairly, safe map for them. Also, for me, I feel like it is generally the CT sides where they look a bit stronger. This 5-man unit has been together for quite a while, probably the better part of like 18 months, I would say, and they have some really great coordination, some really great setups. Almost it. Not shy to an AWP, and he's showing us why. Takes down Slacks basically off the better spawn there. They were both going for the same play. This is the real play, though. Face crack only good for one. He's alone for now. Jerry, though, takes a very risky peek, but it works out. It'll be a 4 versus 2. They are keeping this advantage. They lose that anchor, but thankfully the rotations are in quickly, and there's now Flit and Axie Power behind these two T's. Got to be careful here, dude. Not expecting the second man. I think surely that should be it. Of course, caught on the quick switch, Stefan will go down. And Forze, they get their second round eventually on the board.
It's not bad, considering that they transition into the B hit because they fall into the 4 versus 5. Had the initial hit on the bomb site gone more cleanly, then maybe attacks can hold off in the after plant. Hell, if they even anticipate that second tunnel player, then it could have been brought down into the 2 versus 2. There's many turning points within that one, but they all end up working out for Forze. So they've won a second round. They've got a second op, and they'll be looking to now add to their tally. Still sitting on 3 rounds of loss bonus if worst case they lose this one, but it's a fast double man boost onto Cat. Exapower is going to take the lead here. And attacks, well, all they take is tunnels. 5 players down in the dumps. If they try to burst into the B site, just face crack to hold them back. Flit already aggressively from the catwalk takes off ahead. Dude's going to upgrade in with the AK and ooh, he's dueling versus 2. So, sure enough, a follow-up and a 5v3. If last round in a 4v5 didn't go well for attacks, then this 3v5 shouldn't work out either.
Yeah, gonna need the hero play, I suppose, from somebody. Still got that AWP available. But all the same, things have kind of slowed down, and this is allowing the CTs to gain more and more information to contain the Ts in certain areas of the map. I think they are fairly sure that there's no one towards A at all. So it's either towards T spawn or, of course, the tunnels, whether it's lower or upper. They're not entirely sure. But the play going to be coming in soon. Here comes the utility turning away. Face crack in the corner. Dodges the first flashbang. Not quite the second, unfortunately. While he's blinded, everybody sits and just waits for him to become unblind. So Slacks will eventually trade face crack, but there it is. Jerry comes through from the stairs, takes him down. And another clean round for Forze. This is definitely a good opportunity if they can keep this up. I think they could close the gap, maybe even take the lead. They are looking very, very dominant all of a sudden.
Scary situation when you consider just Glocks in this follow-up round. 2 rounds of loss bonus still. So we'll start racking up the cash soon enough, but this is attacks having to take a bit of a pause. And this is Forze really affording themselves a breather. Some solid holds coming off of Exapower, the player you highlighted before this one all came to a start. But whoa, what a burst. Attacks to be closing that gap faster than Forze had hoped for. And we at least get a bunch of bodies on the ramp, enough so that the bomb plant could even come into fruition. If Exapower can't hit the jumping shot, which he won't, that's a little injection of cash. And 2 casualties, but a team ace out of Forze, and they'll clean up all the pieces. A 4th round for them, too. Means just 2 rounds the gap now.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a round where happens a lot. Both teams can be happy. Forze, they win, survive with the bare minimum of 3, but then alternate attacks make sure some players are rebuying and they also get the bomb plant. So it's kind of bittersweet for both sides, I suppose. this is the real round, though. This is a key swing round in this first half. This could be where alternate attacks continue to extend their lead and, you know, regain control of things. The economy of that CT side not quite super comfortable. I suppose excess power has got, you know, some money available, but everybody else will certainly be feeling the burn if they lose this one. Meanwhile, Forze, if they win it, are able to really turn things on its head, and this first fight could be important.
Nice.
XC Power will take down Slacks. That AWP battle has been heavily going in favor of the CT side recently, and I think that has been one of the deciding factors, in all honesty, in these past kind of 4 or so rounds.
It's not easy to get past a double op. But right now, if Almazer keeps his attention between Long and Catwalk, this could be the rest of the team's setup, though. He's very much going to fixate on Catwalk. Now, last time they tried to challenge this, it was, of course, Exa Power who was able to lock it all down. It's still an Opper, but it's Almazer instead. 2 Ts, bomb included, trying to challenge him, and you'd assume that you would want this long control first, so attacks might bring it back on. And, oh man, Almazer, you can see him trying to float the idea of maybe leaving, or nope, just a safer exit. The doors are hold only for a moment. Almazer now scopes in just off the position of Carr. He's got a little bit of cover, but he can't bet both directions. Sure enough, Flit can. Shuts down the push. That was a very high pressure situation for Almazer. There weren't anybody close to him, but he didn't know which way to look when, and yet he held it all. Double op works out, and it moves forward for Forze. They're looking to tie up this game.
Definitely looking doable as well, and I think Forze, although I did say, you know, their CT side a little bit stronger, their T side is very plowy. Okay, Mantu, early peak coming in. A lot of the rounds have been going that way, and just, again, based off the spawns, Mantu is able to find an opening pick. Unfortunately, it will be somewhat traded, and of course, he cannot get his hands onto a stronger weapon that he has just taken down. So, you know, the 1D sometimes is not a great deal that you can do about them. They just kind of come straight to your face, and you just have to deal with it. And it's then down to the rest of the team to recover things back. And it does look like Forze are doing just that at the moment. With only a smoke and a flashbang, yes, it's a kill, but oh, it might not make the difference. But that one could. That's a kill in at middle, and suddenly the B bomb site is open. The smoke goes down. It's going to need face crack to get maybe even more than that, to be honest. 2 versus 2 ensues. Is this bomb plant going to come in on B? They've got a great deal of time to get set up and ready, as well as some retrieved weaponry, as well as an AWP in the hands of Mantu, and suddenly alternate attacks are looking set to steal one away, missing the flick. But Almazer has got a real task on his hands in this 1 versus 2.
He's going to try and peek the window. Mantu's honed in on. Ooh, but he misses another shot, and that's the drop to no avail. Damn, dude, he does it to him. Just pops the man in mid with the deagle. I believe that was an opera scope, an op that then found its way into the hands of Mantu eventually. And how's he turn it back? Gets aggressive in the doors. Because there is this time where I believe it's Face Crack sitting outside of the windowsill on the B site. He is the only B defender, right? Okay, he has no information as to whether there's a pinch through tunnels, which there always has been. To be fair, there has always been a split between tunnels and mid for that B site. So I understand why Face Crack takes a position on middle and tries to just go for the duel. He knows he can play M4 versus pistol, and the odds are good for him. He picks up 2 kills in that situation, Scriv, but there's 4 players ahead of him. So to no surprise, when he puts himself on full display, he kills half of them, but still gives up the chance to take the B site, and you see what happens. Attacks robbing around, made possible because of Dude's Deagle, and a gnarly 4K from Mantu, who of course opens up shop here in the 13th round. Follows through with the long A pick. He's going to get these foot moving forward. Almazer trying to play off Catwalk. He turns his head. The player down in tunnel doesn't catch him. And he has a chance to now kill the bomb.
That is so unfortunate. Almazer, though, picking up 2. Beautifully done. I mean, given that opportunity, maybe getting a bit too aggressive for the 3rd, but I suppose, you know, gaining that information, it's now into a 3 versus 3, but that's unfortunate. Dude was ready. Maybe saw the shadow or something along those lines. Unfortunately, doesn't win the fight out. It's now alternate attacks who are the ones that are going to get the gotcha play. And this has really confused Jerry. Oh, and Slacks takes him down, just spots him going into the smoke, and is able to line up his crosshair. Face crack now in the 1 versus 3. But yeah, that killing at middle and then kind of faking out a B split smoke throws the CT side for a loop and leaves Face crack in this dire scenario, which he tries to go for. Yeah, okay. No money for the rest of the team, I guess. Going to be a tough one anyway, even if he did save the org. But ultimately, alternate attacks, turning that one on its head. And it does look back, you know, it's one of those scenarios where the discipline can really come in. Yes, you're in a 4 versus 3, but Almazer, you've got your 2. Be happy with that. Drop back and work the advantage rather than continuing to push forward and giving control back to alternate attacks.
This screams to me. I mean, we have a pause here, right? So we can really get a good chance to appreciate it. Look at this beat. Look at these 3 Ts who are ready to just sprint into that bomb site as fast as their little legs can take them, versus what will be obviously a calculated force, I'm assuming. We've got 2 more rounds in the half, 2 rounds of loss bonus. Oh, they're not going to be able to afford much, so you'd think it should be cookie cutter clean if they just cut through them. They just charge in and slice and dice the beast. What's the most they could be running up against? A Deagle and a P250. So sure enough, they send 2 of the 3 on the offensive. They will charge aggressively to the B site, but nope, they stop. All that timing, all the build-up scriv, it falls flat.
Yeah, I kind of respect
it
it though, because
yes,
yeah, around like this, they could find themselves up against 5 players rushing straight towards them. So
they're playing for the win.
Indeed. Gotta respect your opponents, of course. But yeah, I think, I don't know, the issue that Forze have got here maybe is just it taking them a little bit too long to get the ball rolling, I think. Obviously, they get a few rounds in, but it's kind of, in most games where the matchups are even, you know, the momentum is inevitably going to swing both ways, and then it's kind of all about what you do with said momentum. And then the kind of rounds where maybe you do have a force buy, where you can possibly stop the momentum. This has become a little bit scary. The counter flash does push Face Crack away, but from that window angle, you know, it is kind of notorious for a cheeky little shoulder peek and finding a one-tap. I think, though, the bleeding has been stemmed here. We'll see. Exy Power going to find another one. He's got a bit of a fight on his hands as well, but not looking likely. So, again, keeping the economy modest, but towards the end of the half, what does that really matter? For a split second, you know, I was a believer. Maybe if Face Crack found another one-tap, but unfortunately, Forze just going to have to save this remaining AK.
That one's that. 9-5 to the scoreboard. Attacks ultimately do end up at that B site, but it just takes a little more time than first anticipated. I like it, though. You minimize these errors, and there's an understanding as to why. You know, alternate attacks currently sitting on 8 losses. And if you have 8 losses in a season, it's going to be tough to clinch yourself a top 8, and therefore, obviously, playoffs. But there's still relegation to keep in mind. You don't want to be in the depths of that bottom 8. And even though they're not really fighting for a playoff spot per se, they'd have to probably go on like a flawless run from now to the close attacks. It's pushing Forze into a situation that's similar to them. This would be the 8th loss for Forze. Forze, sure, they have more games to play, but with so many losses already, that just means an even longer flawless run. These guys trying not to get relegated. For an organization like Forze that's been around this level for so long, that would be a stab. And you can say the exact same for attacks. You know, these are organizations that have floated within this league for so long now. Gatekeepers, so to say. But oh my, talk about the gatekeeper. Face Crack closes it hard down on them. The drawbridge pull, the moat filled with flames, and poor Slacks, the last to be slain, just watches flank instead. There's no one there. CT's only now taking that mid control to really finish this one off. 6-5 looking highly likely as we move into the second half.
Yeah, a little bit of a quick one, to be fair. Not really working out. I think, again, excess power, he removes their mid control on that T side by finding that kill early on. So it's a very, very one-dimensional, very, very telegraph B hit. And with the, advent of the org, the prowess of the org now, that scope is just nuts from back plat. Unless you're getting like one tapped, you're probably getting a couple frags, and even then you might be able to survive a bit longer by just looking at the, crouching, looking at the floor, and waiting for the rotations to come in once you've done your work. So a little bit of a tough one. A little bit of a tough one for sure. But, I mean, still, like you say, relatively good half. It's going to be difficult for Forze, I think, if they cannot get their feet off the ground early, then, I don't know. Generally, from what I've seen of their T-side, they have very, very little in the playbook. What they have can work very effectively, and they do have some, really, really good T-side fundamentals in terms of the trading and stuff. Again, going back to that solid 5-man unit that, they know each other like the back of their hands. But if they can't get off to that good start, I think alternate attacks could kind of close the game out prematurely, so to speak.
Well, it's time to find out, my friend. Second half set to begin. And we've got utility for Forze. Double smoke, Molotov, and a couple of flashbangs too. Speaking of which, Dude's got the same. And he's looking to lock down mid, plus his kit. So let's try to keep an eye on it. If it hits the dirt, whereabouts does it end up? Forze have boots hitting the dirt towards long A, and then they've decided to shift elsewhere. Look at this. Bunch of crab walk. Trying to keep their heads down off mid and rotate back towards B.
Yeah, not really finding what they were looking for. Again, seeing another team going for the double utility. I think we saw a lot of this. It was Inferno that really started it, and then it just seems to have trickled down to many of the other maps to try and, instead of just Glock train your way in, make life easier and play the retake, so to speak, with the utility being the facilitator of that. Smoke going to be going in then, and Cressy playing pretty aggressively off the back of it. The double flash is now coming in from the kit. A third player that is close by. So these blocks are going to have to make quick work of the B defense. They're trying their best. Cressy's still alive. He's able to escape into the smoke. The flanker in at mid has picked up a kill. Flip will take him down, and he's almost finding another, but not quite. It's going to be Jerry, surely, to finish it off, and a dominant pistol coming in. That's that good start that Forze needed.
Strong pistol round playing through the smokes. I mean, things could have gotten weird on that B side, but ultimately the Glock train steams ahead. And the buyback, ooh, a full Forze. So we had double scouts from Forze versus attacks on their CT side, and attacks take the same page out of the play. Gonna try to charge into long. That's the game plan from Forze. Flashbangs and a smoke could convince them to hold off a bit. But look at the smokes for Forze. They still have 4 more to go and a 5v4 on the catwalk. Now that's going to serve as the trigger to the split. There are still 2 scouts in play, but one of which nowhere to be found. Intricate smoke falls off long from cat down towards... This could signal the wrap back to the B site. Mantu is going to be in no man's land at the moment. Just hiding behind the box. He tags the shot. Jerry clears it off. Ooh, and a TK in the mix may help things, but Jerry tears them through. Low HP on 2. Forze 3v1.
Ooh. 2v1. And Flit's the only 100% HP player here. They're also a little split. They are looking to contain him in, and maybe he's not expecting them to be in such aggressive positions. He tries to back away. Not going to happen. But a lot of good damage done there by alternate attacks. Obviously, they opt to go for the Force, so they're going to have to eco this one out. But they could maybe buy up some pistols here and keep that pressure on. It's just a question now of what Forze are going to do in return, and they're being very careful with their money. A lot of SMGs still in play, which I suppose works out because it is going to be that very, very, very safe eco from alternate attacks.
Trying to play the pop flash pistols on long, but they've spooked him off already. Jerry's gown. He's just going to hold back by car as well. Seeing as they don't have the bomb in play, anticipate Forze just hunting down the kill, which should be streamlined. Once Exapower confirms how many players are over here towards the A site, all 3 CTs should now have been spotted. Jerry could come join the fun, but we're just giving the kills to the SMGs for the time being. Bomb sprints towards the B site. That's the insurance policy. And yeah, sure enough, she's over. So 9 rounds apiece, and we're going to get back into the gun rounds. What I'm most excited for, because Mantu's kept it 21 and 12. He is really that single heavy hitter for attacks at the moment. Let's see if he can shine with a weapon in his hands.
What is it going to be, though? That is the question. I think he is kind of sat a little bit, and he
Double
does go for the double
AWP.
AWP. Initially, it's generally something that a lot of teams try and, fall back on, maybe when life is not going so well, or possibly they pick one up off their opponents and then keep it. Going straight in with the double AWP, an aggressive spot from Slacks. That is some really good initial aggression coming in from him. There was that smoke in mid to facilitate that. He gets through, no one spots him, and they maybe were like, oh, someone's going to be lower tunnels, but there's no way you expect it to be an AWP. Slacks here as well, going to be tested again, but FaceCrack gets the timing and gets the headshots. It will be a 4 versus 4 coming in and looking pretty good here for Forze, actually. Keeping these CTs guessing all over the map, honestly. There's a couple in CT, but they could easily be dealt with just by a couple smokes on the cross, so they are really unsure of where this bomb is going to end up. Ooh, and that is fantastic.
That's a hell of a headshot. Could redivert things towards mid. 2T's cross their spawn. And I don't believe Dude spotted them just yet. But if he gets wind of Exit Power also challenging down middle lane. Oh, he sees it. And now he knows. So the long player has gone towards middle. What does that tell you? Odds are the middle players have gone towards B. It's an entire shift towards this portion of the map. And Dude seems to be aware, but he misses his one chance at a clean kill, and then he's smoked off. Molotov follows suit, and even his frag grenade can't get anything done. So this is a save call. Attacks, they've lost the B site. They had wind as to what was coming because of spotting the Opera on middle, but it was all too fast. Lickety split. They couldn't get anything behind it. And sure enough, Forze take the lead, Scriv. This is a fresh look for them.
It certainly is. And honestly, this is where it gets dangerous. This is where Forze thrive when they've got a bit of a lead, when they've got a bit of momentum. They are very, very good on this T side of turning that inch into a mile. And certainly they're going to be trying to do that here. Moving forwards, trying to eliminate some more players as well. They're heavily grouped up. Fortunately, I think, Dust 2, one of the better maps to save on. There's a lot of angles, a lot of nooks and crannies, as they say, that you can hide in. So, unfortunately, not able to eliminate any more players. They'll be straight back in with the double AWP setup, of course, on that CT side. But I think it is something that can be very difficult. If you've got that double AWP setup, Slacks did well with it to open up, but if you're using it, you've got to find the initial frags, because retakes, especially on Dust 2, really do not suit the AWPs. It really makes life difficult. And I think they've kind of realized it on the Forze side, looking to get aggressive in towards long. First kill going to come in, but the return from Stefan, he gets 2 returns. In fact, he gets 3 returns, and it's a 4 versus 2. They're not able to deal with him. His timing, his positioning is perfect, and Forze now being tested in round number 20.
Jerry, he's going to have to take the forefront now. Bomber is behind him. He could find timing versus Dude. Yep. Sure enough. You could argue even that Dude is baited in because of the audio cue that Exit Power makes. He makes an audio cue, his footstep just off Xbox. And Dude tries to peek in to hold him within doors, but there's already a player out there. And now Jerry's given the cover towards the bomb carrier, so they have a plant and a 2v3 on the B site retake. If there wasn't a tunnel player in Mantu, this would be very difficult for attacks. But they still have a pinch possible. Grenade. Not negligible, as it does early damage, but there's the aggressive peek from Exit Power. He takes down the man on mid. They know Mantu's the last one up, and now that the smoke fades, he's going to have to go for the peek, and it's a jiggle, but it doesn't work. Forze with a robbery in a 2v4. You'd think a 3K is enough, Scriv. You'd think a 3K long door spray down is enough. But Jerry, oh Jerry, cracks that one wide open.
Yeah, for sure. And then Exi Power just playing it perfectly. The huge cojones, honestly, to just hold on and not tap away. That's kind of the scenario. You're in the 1 versus 1. It's a big round. And oh, you shoot too early, you've shoulder peaked, and then you get taken, you know, to the shoulder peak rather, and then you get taken down. But trigger discipline, absolute master, cool, calm, and collected for sure in that scenario. And I think that might just, like you say, kind of open the door to this victory for Forze. No right at winning that one. A great individual play. You've got so many players left alive, and you just kind of throw it away. But we'll see here. Mantu held down on the site, has been looking pretty damn good so far. Able to pick up one, but it takes him a bit too long. He's eventually squeezed out of the round. It will be the 4 versus 4, but the bomb flank coming in, some pretty decent positions here. Cressy's on this flank, but he's got a UMP. It's not really ideal. He's looking to close the gap and come through the smoke. Surely someone's got to be ready for this, but you can just kind of see he's not feeling it. He doesn't really want to go for it. He's just waiting for his teammates instead, and I think that's going to give Forze the kind of the breathing room that they need, although his patience actually pays off, because they opt instead to get aggressive in his face, but then he Molotovs himself out, waiting for a flash to come in here, but are they really going to be able to find anything? They're all just hovering around the B-bomb site. The bomb ticking away, and it should be a 12th round. It will be a 12th, in fact, as that 10-second timer ticks. So maybe just looking to get some exits. Is that going to happen? One, but they lose a couple players for it. I mean, dude trades back, but like at this point, they need rounds, Scrawny. They need rounds, not just kills.
Yeah, looking to maybe curb the cash here of the T's, which would be fine, you know, assuming, let's say they get another, if it wasn't for Exapower's additional $12,000, well, they would have had the T's against the ropes. It would have all been invested, and they'd be trying to take away what was left using this buy, the 2 rifles, 3 Deags. How do you make this happen? Do you, make a play off a rifler? I'd say so. Dude peeks into the... cracks a face wide open. And puts Forze on the back foot. They've moved their pieces. Grab bomb. And try to now forces here on the tunnels. Can they get dude out of position? Because he's just crouched beneath the window. And if he falls, there is such an absent presence of teammates for him. There's no mid-rotate just outside. No. Slacks is all the way back in CT spawn. So dude has to hold this off, and instead he gets his head just obliterated. And Flit's already in position to catch the rotators on middle. So that's why we have Slacks fall to 9 HP, the only other rifler. This round boils down to a single headshot, and it's Exapower blowing dude out of the water for Forze to take a 13th round.
Yeah, they were really hoping that if that was going to happen, it would happen a little bit later, but it's just the fact that as soon as he peeks onto the site, he's able to find that head, you know, just kind of contacting around with the scope. It doesn't give any time, like you say, for those rotations to come in. If they'd have pushed out a little bit, you know, and tried to fight him while they're moving forwards, then those extra couple seconds, you never know, could have helped him, you know, and helped the team overall to get into that B-bomb site. But it was just the fact that it's like, right, we're on the other side of the map, and there's a player in mid that we've got to deal with. It's just not going to happen. Even with the rifles, I think it would have been really, really difficult for them. So, yeah, Forze, things going their way, looking really, really good. And this is exactly what I was saying. They have a very, you know, virtus.pro-esque, the way back when plow, of course, T-side. And they are able, if they can get a read on you, to just completely walk all over you. And that is what is going on here. Alternate attacks has yet to pick up a round.
Isn't that wild? How just the switching of the sides has completely changed this game. It's the kind of situation you just can't anticipate. You know, when we were watching Forze struggle for their, 6 CT rounds? Didn't look like they were in control of the situation. Looked like they were just kind of limping along. But boy, have things changed. It's consistent solo B defender. Mantu's been back here. Somebody's been back here alone. So many rounds now, and face crack into... Because of the pop flash of Exapower and Jerry's helping hand, they cut down 2 CTs, and now they're going to try to head headstrong into the B site. Mantu can't get around the corner fast enough. And while Slacks cuts one off mid, Bomb can still use tunnels to get it planted. 3 versus 2 looking highly likely, a 14th round for Forze. And you have to ask yourself, if you are attacked, do you just let this slide? You have no money in the bank. Even with 4 rounds of loss, they're not going to have themselves a solid buy. So this becomes save worthy. And when you have to give away the 14th round, limp into pit with just your 2 weapons and hope for the best in the follow-up, Scriv, that's not when you're in the driver's seat anymore. You're being taken for a ride.
Yeah, definitely. It is not looking good. And I feel like this is a round where maybe they're kind of in this scenario. They want to go for it. They want to maybe try and pull off the Miracle 2 versus 3, but at the same time, you have to try and play it safe. But it's going to need a hell of a turnaround from them, in all honesty. I think it has been just an incredible showing from Force. Like we talked about, those fundamentals, just really, really good from them. And I think Dust 2 T-side is a map where the fundamentals are kind of the most important part. They're right at the forefront, where you have maps like maybe Mirage and Inferno, that like your executes and things, your mid-round calls can make the big differences. It is the trading, it is the spacing on Dust 2 that really can just let you fly on this T-side, as we are seeing. You don't need a super, super long playbook, and that suits Forze's T-side down to a T, if you'll pardon the pun, but all the same, they are just looking really, really good right now.
Oy. Almanzer just has to grit his teeth for that one. Takes a frag on the head. And his teammates assuming control of the catwalk. It's been a little while since we've seen Forze try to pressure the cat. It's been B consistently, and attacks, well, they never shied away from the A site. They haven't been conditioned to start stacking up B too heavily, which could play into their favor in this particular round. If Forze decide to finally change it up, and attacks have not. But I think there's another big question that'll lie on top of the head of the Opper. Again, will Slacks have his attention turned the right direction? If right now he's concerned with both long and catwalk, which fight does he commit to? Because there's nothing on long for him. It is an entire cat push potentially, or even the fake. A little redirection at the last minute has drawn Mantu into the CT spawn, but from this position, he cuts off that front runner. The player in the B site can come help him if needed, but Mantu just hides, finds some cover, and Slacks falls back with Op now sitting on top of the bomb, 3v2. And the T's are going to have to come back in for a second serving, but Exapower, with a player close at his face, can't even get off catwalk just yet. Now he has a chance, but 15 seconds, and he's going to drop into the Opper of Slacks. 2 beautiful shots is all it's going to take. It's exactly what he needs. But the CTs boil it down. They wait out the time, and that's it. 10th round for attacks. He's not even going to try it. Exapower walks away.
Honestly, I think just kind of overthinking themselves a little bit with the, last second fake call just seemed to be like, playing themselves, ultimately. It wasn't really alternate attacks getting a super sick read. It was just kind of Forze walking into a bad scenario that they put themselves in. So I'm not quite sure, the call. I like the idea, maybe, keep them guessing or whatever, but it's not like they'd spotted anyone rotating or heard anyone rotating aggressively from B. So, yeah, I think it's just a bit too much of a crazy call, to be fair. So, not the end of the world. Obviously, they've still got this pretty good lead. They use a pause. I would imagine that was theirs anyway. Could quite easily have been alternate attacks, but nonetheless, a pause comes in. And they're able to talk things over, kind of, what went wrong with that one. And ultimately, I think they just need the 15th, and then the 16th will come fairly easy with it. We'll see. Officer off the back of a good spawn is able to take down Slacks, who was ready for him, but faster reactions here on the AWP. Tags down Stefan, but it's through a fairly thick door, it would seem, and a wall as well to boot. So only the 25 damage coming in. Nice flash here in at middle, but not ready for the second. But Mantu is there. Okay, and we immediately switch across to Exapower missing an easy shot. So a 3 versus 3. Now a 3 versus 2. The CT is looking revitalized after their 10th round.
Oh, what? Stefan just gets dropped on by Facecrack. I was about to say, this is a turning point. Exapower missing his shot, dying to the catwalk push. That's a turning point in and of itself, but so is this, because attacks, unbeknownst to them, are about to stumble across the Golden Snitch. They have bomb.
Oh my goodness.
Do they not realize?
Don't think they know it. No, they've not looked towards T-spawn at all. So This
Dude,
is
they don't-
weird. Because they're pushing up long silently, and Forze are pushing up short silently. But yeah, literally, I think they were just trained on, you know, the long house. Didn't even look towards T-spawn at all, so never saw the bomb.
I'm scratching my head on that one, man. You'd think somebody's watching your radar even. Like, that's gotta pop. They just switch positions with Forze. They give bomb back to them, but now there's no time for Forze to even make the play. There's no time for them to get to the site in time to plant. So what's the point of all this? What a ridiculous round. Forze outplaying themselves, and dude, well, he just doesn't have to die, which he doesn't. That's another round given up to attacks. All right. We've gone from we've entered a weird realm on that last round. I don't know where we are anymore.
I mean, if that doesn't sum up, you know, the realms of online CS, then I'm not quite sure what does. Sometimes crazy things like that just kind of happen. I think ultimately they probably were not concentrating on the time so much, and that's what ended up losing it for Forze. Flick, that's a nice little flick around, as it were. Moves aggressively forwards, though, because of the Molotov, unfortunately for him. Dude gonna find the trade, but a 1-for-1, the T's will take that every day of the week as they gain a bit of control towards those B tunnels. This exchange on short that seems to be coming in soon, maybe. Are they gonna meet? They are, but Facecrack has turned the wrong way. Stefan gets the drop, takes him down. Slacks has got a pretty nasty angle here as well. Takes down Almeza. That might just be the round with it, especially because that trade is missed by Jerry.
Ooh, and Jerry has little stumpy arms, so he can't reach that off. He was looking to upgrade it to the sniper, which would be a really good way to maybe draw back this situation. Double op into the 2v3, even 2v2 if needed. But now Dude's tucked himself away into the tunnels. Exapower is going to walk in first. If he doesn't thoroughly clear that left corner, he is doomed. But it looks likely. And sure enough, he's got it. Now he's going to sprint for this B site. If Cressy can get up behind the bomb, that'd be fine. But he doesn't seem able to cut them off unless they hesitate. The other CTs coming off of mid-ramp, well, they haven't been able to challenge just yet. Exapower, you cannot afford to get blindsided right now off the tunnels. And he even wins the first duel, but there's timing on Stefan's going to be that second attempt. Trying to find success in the fallen comrade. There it is, another trade back. Exapower wins the fight on mid. A Molotov is what he's caught with. Forze and a 15th round. Exapower's 4K. Killer performance to claw back around. And this now gives them 4 match points.
Yeah, and that's the issue for alternate attacks. Ultimately, you know, when a round like that inevitably comes, you know, the individual steps up or you throw away the heavy advantage that you've got. I mean, both of them happen there, but when a round like that happens, you're so far down that unfortunately it might just be a bit too much. We'll see. Slacks takes down Flit as he gets aggressive in at long. Seems the rest of the team is following, but not quite as fast as the SMG that he had in hand. And so an opening pick goes the way of alternate attacks, at least for now. You'd still kind of edge it towards Forze, but no, another shot coming in. It's Stefan. The scout changes hands. It must be blessed or something, because so far it's found all the kills for the alternate attack side. Unfortunately, though, it does seem that they are losing their advantage slowly but surely. Again, we've got another key exchange here in on short. Who is going to win this one out? Facecrack going for the crazy sprays and the push. It wants to come in. Cressy wants to go for it, but Facecrack is ready. Takes a bit of damage in from mid and the initial exchange, but unfortunately, he will not be winning it out. And a 3 versus 2 now in favor of the T side.
Even further damage done. Dude tries to cross back to the B site. At least he's there. That is the silver lining. He's in a position to stop the push of the solo bomb, but he's going to need a cracking headshot and possibly the follow-up. Facecrack now joins the bomb carrier. Oh my god, they nearly line up. He does the damage, but he stands up and in doing so shows himself. The casualty has been added to the tally versus attacks. It is all on Slacks. 1v3, he walks through smoke, gets the headshot, can't whip it back fast enough.